Well, hey guys, who's got an old dog? You either have one or you're gonna have one. So I've got two. Two of my dogs are Ruby is 12 right now, and she was 12 in January. It's April right now. If you're not listening to it right away, but last January she was 12 years old. So she seems, and I've got another dog, Cap, male, and he'll be 12 in May. So I got two dogs coming along. Both of them have arthritis in their legs. Ruby has arthritis in her back and also her left leg, and Cap has arthritis in his left leg, um, as well as having one eye. He had one eye that we lost because of a spine he took in his right eye. Um, and he's got a broken canine tooth and um, stuff being a bird dog, I guess. But we've got old dogs, and I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff, alternate medical stuff that I came upon after some research that I think is going to keep these dogs into the game longer. In fact, Cap is almost 12 years old. He'll be 12 years old in a couple of days. In the Georgia region National Shoot to Retrieve Georgia Championships last month, he took sixth place out of 38 dogs. I was thrilled to death with him. I think if we'd had there's a little bit of luck involved in that too. Not a whole lot, but there is some luck. And we caught Cap and his brace mate. We just caught a time of day when they just couldn't smell either one of them, and both of them are excellent dogs. Just the brace prior to that, Cap had five finds and five retrieves out of five birds put out. So, and that was against a really, really nice dog. So I was really thrilled with him. But anyway, we just had a bad brace, but he definitely could have carried the day. There's that one brace where, yeah, we just got nothing. We got knocked out. So he got sixth for the whole trial, and he's got a lot of life in him. Got a lot of time to go. Ruby, with her arthritis, she is, and she had 30 puppies. 30 puppies. I mean, that's a lot, and just a lot of good puppies. In fact, all of my other puppies are out of her. So that wears them down, and she's a little worse for the wear now than Cap is. I think it's a little harder on the female dogs. So with both these guys, I started looking around for ways to keep them comfortable. They gave their lives for me, and so when they get older, I'm going to take care of them, and they're going to be going along with me until they just don't want to anymore. And one of these days, I'm going to get to Montana, and I'm going to open up the crate or open up the truck door and say, "Come on, girl, you want to go?" And she's going to look at me and go, "Nah, I'm done." Never had a dog do that, but someday it'll come. Someday it'll come. I've had them where they can't even barely walk, but they're still game. In their mind, they're the toughest thing that walks right then. So someday it'll come, and until that happens, they're going with me, and I'll take care of them. So we're going to explore a couple of things that I've looked at for pain relief for these dogs, so that they can operate, that they can do their job without just being in constant pain. Hey, look, I'm 71. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I get it every day. But I found ways to cope. And I'm not using the same medicines they are, and you'll see why in a little bit. But I am, uh, I use chiropractic now. I go to see a chiropractor to keep my hips straight because if I don't, I'm walking along and just in constant pain. I drink tonic water. I drink tonic water almost every night that I'm hunting because if I didn't, before I'd wake up with just screaming cramps in my legs. I usually just do it on the first couple of days, and after that, I'm good. But the muscles just don't have that elasticity. They don't have the ability to recover when you hit 70 or 50 or 60. It hit me. I noticed it the worst when I hit 70. I'm 71 now, so when I hit 70, it seemed like the little downhill turned into a steep slide. So, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about how to help these guys, and I hope you get something out of it. I mean, I sure did, and I'll tell you how I got to where I did and what I'm using now, and we'll come back here after a commercial interruption. Well, I want to just take a minute here and let's talk about some people that are supporting me and my sponsors. There's two of them that I think are just really, really good products. And the first one is ESPAmerica.com. There's some high-tech stuff here. ESPAmerica.com. They make ear attenuators, and basically they're earplugs or earpieces that you can adjust the volume on. They're form fit, they don't fall out, and they're great in high wind conditions. And I don't know how they do it, but I mean, it's not like you can't hear the wind at all, but it's not. Some of the stuff I used to wear, I mean, it would just drove me crazy in the New Mexico and Wyoming and Montana out there where the wind's blowing all the time. So ESPAmerica.com, give them a look, and custom made ear attenuators. And the other major sponsor that I have is Dr. Tim's dog food, and Dr. Tim's drtims.com, and they make the finest dog food on the planet. I fed it for 2 years before I called him and asked him about if he wanted to be on my podcast. And he said, yeah, and ended up he's now one of my sponsors. Excellent food. And I encourage you to listen to the podcast. It's one of my most popular ones. And he talks about what to do in the summertime for feeding a bird dog, and how to, what to look for to make sure you have a good food if you don't feed Dr. Tim's. And, a lot of good stuff. He's a dog sledder. Not a bird hunter, but a dog sledder, and I think they've got pretty much got the handle on how to feed an athlete, a canine athlete. Also, go ahead and check out my blog, which is abirdhuntersthoughts.com, and I put a little dash underneath the S's there to show you that those are plural. A bird hunter's thoughts. Actually, it's possessive and plural. So. But not to put too fine a spin on it, but birdhuntersthoughts.com is my blog, and you can go there and that's sort of a landing page. You can, check out my everything, all my different stuff, YouTube channel, the podcast, sign up for books. You can sign up for support to support me as I do this stuff. And and we've got many people that do that, and I appreciate every single one of them. The next is my YouTube channel, A Bird Hunter's Thoughts, and which is very original. But I have YouTube videos of all last year's hunts, and I'm going to apologize for the first few because I was learning how to use a GoPro. I posted them anyway, but take the good with the bad. But they get better as we go along through the season. And my last one, which I call Revenge on the Gambles, was in New Mexico, and I think that was my best one as far as videography, and had a lot of good stuff on it. And I'm looking for much better stuff this year because I've got a new mount. I ended up with a chest mount, which stabilized everything. I'm not walking along and you're looking at the ground, which was irritating even to me, and I took it. So, but I ended up with a chest mount, but you don't get a shot or a picture of the actual shot. And so to solve that, I came up with a mount that's on the top of my hat, the bill of my hat, and here it is right here. Here's the mount, and of course the camera's going to go on there. And I think that's going to solve a lot of issues. So I'm excited about the YouTube channel for coming up. And but anyway, it's at A Bird Hunter's Thoughts. One more thing, shameless self-promotion. 2 books I've written. Endless October. There we go. That's the first one, and that's on Amazon. And the second, and cleverly named, Endless October Season 2 is out, and that was out last summer. And that is also on Amazon, Bird Dogs, Short Tales, and The Traveling Bird Hunter. Both of these are available on Amazon, and you can get them or you can get them at paperback. They're also on Kindle, and I also did the narration on both audiobooks available on Audible. So all that stuff's available, and those are my sponsors. And I think I covered it all. And if I didn't, shame on me. Okay, we're back, and let's talk about old dogs and how to keep them in the game. And mainly, I was concerned about my Ruby dog, the female. She's about 4 months older than Cap, but after 30 puppies, she just, she hurts, and I'm going to share this, Ruby, and don't get mad at me, but she's got a little leakage problem going on, and she's just about as deaf as I am. She really is. I mean, she can hear loud noises. If I cup my hands and just shout really loud to her, she'll respond to it. But I mean, I can come up to her alongside her, and she doesn't even know I'm there. I can sneak up to her. So, and she can feel vibrations through the floor, and I know she really pays attention to me when she's around me, and when she's not asleep, she'll just be looking at me the whole time, because that's the way she can stay on top of me. And I was actually looking for her over there in my man cave here to see if she was here. I'd hold her up and show her to you, but so she's got so she's deaf and incontinent, and has got arthritis in her backbone, in her left leg, and so I really want to try to help her out. So I started looking around for medications, and of course I can get Remedil or Carpofen, I think is what it is. This is the generic name, but Remedil from the vet, and that works. But you got to be careful long term with that stuff. I mean, you can hurt your dog long term on that stuff if you're not very careful. So I mean, it's a powerful drug, and that's why it works so good. So I started looking around for other stuff as well, and I do have Remedil. I carry it with me, but I started looking around for other things that might help out. And so, in keeping with the times, I've heard that they started advertising the CBD oil. That you'd think it just did everything. You cure cancer with CBD oil. So you got to remember, I'm a child of the '60s. Okay, to all you younger guys, and I know that the demographics of this channel is almost all age 35 to 60. Okay, so even the oldest guy in that demographic is 11 years behind me. That means when I was 21, they were 11. Okay, well, they were 10. So, yeah, so much for higher math. But when I was in college in the 60s, marijuana was a health food. The CBD, which is the actual hemp without the THC, which is the psychedelic part of it, you can remove that THC out of the marijuana. And what you have left is the CBD oil. And that stuff does have a lot of really, really good properties. And pain relief, it's just great for calming dogs. Pain relief is the one I was looking for. So I started looking up CBD oil. And I've got one dog that, I do a lot of traveling, a lot of driving across the country to hunt. And one of my dogs just, for about a couple hours, he's good. And after that, he just goes nuts. He'll get up and he'll pant and pant, and then he'll go to the front to the back and the front to the back, and then he'll pant more and drives me crazy. And so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's got to go to the bathroom. So we'll stop in a hurry, and I stop every 2 hours anyway, but we'll stop in a hurry and get him off the side of the road, and he just kind of looks around. No, he didn't have to go to the bathroom. He's just basically bored, I think. And so ended up putting him back into his crate in the back, and he likes that even less, but I don't have to listen to him. So I ended up getting him some of this product, and this, let me see, hemp quiet moments. They sell a lot at pet stores and stuff like that. I'm keeping the brand name out of it because, they don't, no free advertising, but they sell a lot of that. And that's basically CBD with some melatonin and some ginger in it. And that, it works. It really works. It calms him down. And so I started using that for him, for Cap. And, so I said, well, maybe there's something to this. And then I started to do some reading on CBD oil and pets, and found a lot more information about it. And I'm tickled to death with this stuff. What I found is that you can get some very, very high quality CBD oil with guaranteed less than 0.003% THC, which means essentially it's zero THC. It's all gone out of it. So there's none of the psychedelic part of the marijuana. So it's just the CBD oil itself, and very high quality, very filtered. And the problem with it is if you just go down to the local gas station and buy a vial of CBD oil, you don't know what you're getting. It's unregulated, totally unregulated. The industry is. So you don't know if it's got lead in it. You don't know if it's got mercury in it. You just don't know. So you have to do some research and get it from a reliable manufacturer, So back in the 60s in colleges, man, I know a guy that knows a guy, No, it's not like that anymore. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's mainstream now. It's mainstream. So you can get CBD oil, but you want to make sure that it's been filtered and it's been inspected, and there's some sort of verifying method involved where they can actually provide to you online some sort of guarantee that this stuff is pure. You don't want to be putting something into your dog that's got lead in it or mercury or arsenic or any of that other trash in it. So I actually did some work with or found this guy, and this is not one of my sponsors, by the way, but I'm just going to give you an idea where I got this. This guy is Peak Therapeutics. Let me get this in a... I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see. Peak Therapeutics. I'm not getting the focus on it. But Peak Therapeutics, and you can just go online and Google them. And this is a full spectrum hemp CBD tincture. There you have it. So that is this is 100 milligram CBD per milliliter. So also what I found out is that you can buy 3 or 4 different concentrations of this. So you need to really look at how it's made and what you're getting. This bottle, and this is let me see, 1 fluid ounce bottle. And this has got 3,000 milligrams of CBD for a 30 milliliter bottle. So it's a 30 milliliter bottle. It's got 3,000 milligrams. And then you go in there and you look and you see based on weight, it tells you on the back that give 5.05, 5 hundredths of a milliliter or 5 milligrams orally or mixed with food for every 10 pounds of body weight. Well, Ruby weighs, 30 pounds. So I need to give her 15 hundredths of a milliliter. And it says twice daily. So we'll talk about that later. And refrigerate after opening. What I'm getting around to is this is 30 milliliter bottle. It costs $200. You're going, oh my God, $200. I don't know if you can see how much I've used here, but I've used, that's about where there's about where. I've used less than half of this bottle, and I've been using it since January for 2 dogs. So they get 4 drops. Okay, so there it is. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4. That dose lasts my dog for 8 to 12 hours of pain relief. And it works. It works. So I am thrilled with this stuff. I'd like you to go and look at peaktherapeutics.net. www.peaktherapeutics.net. They're in Colorado, go figure, and it's owned by a vet, and he's an expert in pain relief for animals, and he came up with this, and it is an extremely well-regulated, safe product. If you don't want to pay that, man, you're saying, well, I'm gonna save money and pay a little bit less, and you're not going to get the concentration. But understanding that, they've got, I think, 3 different concentrations on this. So you can get some a lot cheaper, but I finally just bit the bullet and spent $200 for it, and it lasts a long, long time. So, like I said, 8 to 12 hours for the pain relief, and I give it when I'm bird hunting. They get it every day, every single day, and I will use drugs on them as far as Adequan for the joints and arthritis. Which it's a miracle drug, but you got to get it from the vet, and you have to inject it. And of course, I do all that, and you should be comfortable doing that too. Actually, if you have bird dogs, it's easy. It's a piece of cake. Have your vet show you how to do it. So I give them Adequan once a month, year round, when they get to this age, and I give it weekly when we're bird hunting, and then daily. These 2 dogs get CBD oil and also Remedil daily, and they are too good to be put up because of arthritis pain, which all bird dogs are going to get. They're working animals, and they work themselves hard, way harder than we do, and they're going to get it. So anyway, CBD oil is the one thing I use, and also I use these hemp products for calming. And when we come back, we're going to talk about one more product. Welcome back. One more product that I use well, it's not really a product like you ingest, but I was talking to a friend of mine down here that's a trainer, and she works with German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois and anyway, guard dogs, that kind of thing. And she was talking about how she had an older dog that was similar to Ruby and Cap, and she had a vet that came and used acupuncture on him. So I'm thinking, well, really? Yeah, I wasn't too impressed. But, you know, I'm open up to things. So, yeah, I'm just like a Renaissance man. But I wanted to give this a shot. So I called the vet, and I'm going to go ahead and try to, for the video portion here of this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and try to put up a couple pictures of what happened. But I invited Dr. Amy over and talked to her quite a while, and she is got her vet training and graduated in vet school, and then went on to further training in acupuncture and some other stuff, chiropractic, I think, for dogs. I'm not sure what it was, and she's going to be mad because I forgot to write it down. But anyway, the important thing is the acupuncture. We kind of played hit and miss for a couple months, and finally I got her over here yesterday, and we went out to the barn and got Ruby on a table, and she just did a complete checkup of the dog, just putting her hands all over the dog and said, "Oh, you got a mammary tumor here." I go, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, but it's small. It's very, very small, and it really might not be a mammary tumor. Don't freak out, Randy, but eventually there might be something we have to do here," and so on. And then finally, while we were just talking, and I was telling her about Ruby and how wonderful a dog she was, and just stuff, she pulled out a packet, kind of ripped it open, and I'm watching her, and there's these very, very fine needles. I mean, they are very fine. I mean, like width of human hair kind of stuff, and maybe about the metal part, the handle was maybe an inch long, and then the metal part of the needle maybe an inch and a half or so. And she just kind of felt her way down the backbone, and she went in there and then just kind of slid the needle in. And Ruby didn't even blink. And like I said, we were just talking, and she put about, I guess she put maybe 10, 8 or 10. I didn't really count them. But most of them were in her hindquarters, in her rear end, on the top, and some down around like in her hamstrings. Then there were some up in her shoulders, and one down in her elbow. And I think there was one up like on the top of her head too. I'm not sure, and I'm sure she's putting these needles in the dog in areas that will affect the pain relief for the dog. So we talked, and I'm sitting there. I took a picture of Ruby, and she looks a little bit, looks like a pincushion, So and she didn't have any discomfort at all. So, and I talked to the dog about how long it lasts, and she said, "Well, this could last. Every dog's different, of course." And she said after the initial treatments, this could last a month. This pain relief, if it happens. So I'm thinking, well, that would be good. I mean, it's not free, and she's a traveling vet, so you're paying the fee to have her come out. But it's not that much money when you talk about the drugs that these dogs are taking are just as much or more than the fee to have the vet come out and do this on the dog. So, we talked about it for a while, and finally, she said, we'd like to leave him in for 5 or 10 minutes or so. But she said, now see this one here, this little needle here, it started working its way back out, and she says I can tell that she is the dog somehow via the muscle is pushing that back out, and that means it's done what it needs to do. I don't quite understand all this. She's talking about chi and stuff like that. I figured we're going to start doing yoga or something. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to the main point. The main point is my dog had these needles in her, and then she started pulling them out. And at no time was there any blood or any of that stuff. These needles went in specific spots. And I forgot to ask her if they went in a specific rotation. In other words, A, B, C, D, that kind of thing. Somehow I didn't think so. But anyway, she slid it right in. They went in. They were painless. And then we waited 5 or 10 minutes, and she took them out. One of them fell out on its own. And she said, yeah, that's part of that where it's being pushed out. And she said, that's good. That's good that happens. I went ahead and we got done with it, and I said, when should we see results? She says, a lot of times you see it immediately. And so I was kind of hoping for that. And she says, usually I like to get 2 sessions on each dog, and before we really see results. And so I said, okay. So we went ahead and took the needles out, and we were just doing some talking and basically gave her a credit card, that kind of thing. And I let Ruby jump off the table, and I looked, and she jumped off the table. A lot of times she'll kind of jump and kind of stumble. This time she jumped and started kind of walking around, looking around, and picked up, trotted out of the barn, and she wasn't limping at all. And so I said, okay, that's good. Well, I told Dr. Amy, I said, I'm seeing a little improvement already. I like to think that I'm being a little clinical about it and not seeing what I hope to see, but I don't think so. I'm seeing her being a little looser. I'm seeing her being a little not reacting to pain. So she kind of drove off down the driveway, and we made an appointment for a couple of weeks from now. I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go up and do a field trial up in Indiana. So when I get back from that, I'm going to have her come back and do acupuncture on Ruby again. But I was kind of watching Ruby run between the barn and the house. And okay, so maybe it's my imagination again. I don't know, but she looked better. And then she came over to me and wanted to get my attention, and she jumped up and hit my chest right here. I'm standing up. Okay? My dog has never done that to me, ever. She jumped up and hit my chest with her feet and pushed herself away, and then turned around and kind of got all puppy on me. And I was going, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. This was neat. Pretty impressive. These are all subjective things that I've seen. Okay, I didn't measure anything. But I'm telling you that this acupuncture, right now, school's still out on it, but I'm seeing a dog that is over 12 years old, of hard work all her life, is, she's acting like an 8 or 9 year old. And how long this lasts, I don't know yet. I'm coming back in 2 weeks. I'm having another treatment. And if it goes like I think it's going to go, or like Dr. Amy hopes it is and has seen happen in other dogs, then that pain relief could last a month. and then she'll come back and treat him basically monthly. And you know, for the money, it's worth it, and it's definitely worth it. Between acupuncture and the CBD oil, I think I've got an alternative solution to prescription drugs, and I'm thrilled to death with both of them. I really am. I find out you're going to spend a lot of money on Remedil. It's not cheap, and you're going to spend a lot of money on other treatments, and there's side effects that are could be dangerous for your dog. I've talked to one vet, said he almost killed his dog on Remedil because he just wasn't, he didn't realize the long term. I guess it's because of the long term effects of daily use of that drug. It's a great drug. It's just like taking big doses of aspirin every day on your body. But if you can get the same kind of pain relief for using something that's absolutely holistic, acupuncture and CBD oil, that's what I'm going to do. And, I'll let you know how it goes. But those are two products that I use, and I just wanted to get that word out. This is my first video podcast. If you're listening to it with just the audio, you can go to Spotify, and it will be on Spotify, where you can watch the video podcast on Spotify. So I can't imagine why you would not want to do that, because you get to see me. But you cannot, I guess you could watch the Spotify video podcast on your smartphone as you're rolling down the road, but then that kind of takes most people want to listen to a podcast, right? But anyway, the video podcast is out there on Spotify. So one more thing I need to talk to you about on some of this alternative medicine is that in the state of Georgia, the veterinarians are not allowed to talk about CBD usage and stuff like that. I guess maybe because it is uncontrolled and because it's not, I don't know. Your vet may or may not be able to help you with actual ins and outs of use of CBD oil, and every state is different, so you need to check on that. As far as acupuncture, my vet was very straightforward about it. He said, yeah, it works. Sometimes it's like anything else, it seems like. Some dogs it works great, some dogs don't like it at all. So, but in my dog, it worked fine. And then with the CBD oil here at Peak Therapeutics, that worked great too for me. Let's see if I can get this right. There we go. And this kind of stuff too, this hemp stuff for quieting your dogs and travel and stuff like that works great too. So I'm a big believer now, and I'm seeing good results. And with that being said, don't forget to visit my blog, abirdhuntersthoughts.com, and from there you can get all the other stuff. You can get books, and you can actually sign up for support. And a lot of people do it, and I appreciate every one of them. Okay, well, that's about it for today, and I'll come back later with something else that is just as interesting.